this time. We're gonna keep reading Salar, but again, it's up to you. Really, I mean, I would like to read quite a few books. I have got the sort of bookshelf full of books that ready and waiting. So yeah, just let me know and we can go from there. But what we'll do is we'll carry on from last time, and yeah, hopefully I can find where I left off. I think my hair is on the book. I really need to get some better lighting. But here we go. What is wrong with me? This is why not giving a fuck is so key. This is why it's going to save the world. And it's going to save it by accepting that the world is totally fucked and it's going alright. Because it's always been that way, and it always will be. By not giving a fuck, you feel bad. You short circuit the feedback loop from hell. You say to yourself, I feel like shit, but who gives a fuck? And then as I sprinkle by magic, fuck giving, fairy dust, and you stop hating yourself for feeling bad. George Orwell said that you see what's in front of one's nose requires a constant struggle, while the solution to our stress is anxiety. It's right there in front of our noses, and we're too busy watching porn and advertisements for ab machines that don't work, wondering why we're not banging into a hot blonde with rocket six-pack to notice. We joke online about the first world problems, but we really have become victims to our own success. Stress-related health issues, anxiety disorders, and cases of depression have skyrocketed over the past 30 years, despite the fact that everyone has a flat screen TV and that their groceries get delivered. Our crisis is no longer material. It's essential. It's spiritual. We have so much fucking stuff and so many opportunities that we don't even know what to give a fuck about anymore. Because there's an infinite amount of things we can now see or know, there are also an infinite number of ways we can discover that we don't measure up, that we're not good enough, that things aren't as great as they could be. And this rips us apart inside. Because here's the thing, what's wrong with how to be happy? Shit, that's been shared 8 million times on Facebook in the past few years, not 5 years. I wish it was 5 years. I probably would have been happier. Here's what nobody realises about all of this crap. The desire for more positive experience is itself a negative experience. And paradoxically, the acceptance of one's negative experience is itself a positive experience. This is a total mindfuck. So I'll give you a minute to unpretzel your brain and maybe read that again. Wanting positive experiences and negative experience. Accepting negative experiences is a positive experience. It's what the philosopher Alan Watts used to refer to as backwards law. The idea that more you pursue feelings, feeling better all the time, the less satisfied you become. as pursuing something only reinforces the fact that you lacked in it in the first place. The more you desperately want to be rich, the more and unworthy you feel, regardless of how much money you actually make. The more desperately you want to be sexy and desired, the uglier you become to see yourself, regardless of the actual physical appearance. The more you desperately want to be happy and loved, the lonelier, the more afraid you become, regardless of those who surround you. It's like this one time I tripped on acid, and it felt like the more I walked toward the house, the farther away the house got from me. And yes, I used LSD hallucinations to make Phyllis. I knew there was going to be one word. Philosophical point about happiness. No fucks given. As the essential philosopher Albert Camus said, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't on LSD this time, you'll never be happy if you continue to search for what happiness consists of. You will never live if you are looking for meaning of life. Or put more simply, don't try. Now, I know what you're saying, Mark, this isn't really making my nipples hard, but what about the camera I've been saving up for? Chimera, maybe, it's a better make for car than Cameo. What about the beach body I've been starving myself for? After all, I paid a lot of money for that ab machine. What about that big house on the lake that I've been dreaming of? If I stop giving a fuck about those, well, I'll never achieve anything. I don't want to happen, do I? So glad you asked. Ever notice sometimes that you care less about something you do the better? Notice how often a person who is least invested in the success of something that actually ends up achieving it. Notice sometimes when you stop giving a fuck, everything seems to fall into place. What's with that? What's interesting about a backwards law is that it's called backwards for a reason. Not giving a fuck works in reverse. If pursuing the positive is a negative, then pursuing the negative generates the positive. The pain you pursue in the gym results in a better all-round health and energy. The failures in business are what lead to better understanding of what's necessary to become successful. Being open with your insecurities, paradoxically, makes you more open with your insecurities. Or makes you more charismatic. I'm just going to take a pause here. Very sorry for my reading. I hope you're just enjoying the soft-spoken / whispered reading. And I hope once I start making more of these, I can start making them much better. The pain of honest confrontation is what generates the greatest truth and respect in your relationships. Suffering through your fears and anxieties is what allows you to build courage and perseverance. Seriously, I could keep going, but you get the point. Everything worthwhile in life is won through surmounting the associated negative experience. Any attempt to escape the negative, to avoid or quash or silence it, only backfires. The avoidance of suffering is a form of suffering. The avoidance of struggle is a struggle. The denial of failure is a failure. Hiding what is shameful is self shame. Pain is in thread in the fabric of life, and to tear it out is not only impossible, but destructive attempt to tear into our everything else with it. To try to avoid pain is to give too many fucks about pain. If you are able to not give a fuck about the pain, you become unstoppable. In my life I've given a fuck about many things. I've also not given a fuck about many things. And I think the road I have taken, it was the fucks not given that made all the difference. Very close now to the next chapter. I'm going to keep these short so I have enough energy to do a lot more of these and I don't burn out. Unfortunately, this isn't my only job, and I don't, and will never call this a job. I really hope you do enjoy and do want me to keep going. I love the response in the first video, and the second video has only just come up, so if you are new, please head over to that video, have a look, and let me know what you think. Any ways to improve what I'm doing, please let me know, and yeah, I hope you all have a nice sleep.